We gotta fix this. We gotta get this right. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. That's so much better than normal. That's so much better than my normal camera work. It's terrific. I'm really happy about this. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi. Come on in. Let's get some people in here. You don't have to. If you're shy, you don't have to say hi. If you're shy, you can just kind of quietly come into my parlor. Just chill out. All right, let me get the thing going here so I can see you guys, all you wonderful people. All you lovely people. We got 12 people in here. Hi, Sketch Therapy. Hi, Midnight Cherry TV. Great to see you. Damp Stew. Hey, hey. Skid Racket. What's the email? I need to go to work soon. What email? Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this? Oh, you'll find out in a second. Sorry. Skid Racket, I don't want to ruin things. I have a show. I have a show that I've got to put on. I have a show. Is it a dinner show? I guess it depends on where you are. Not for me. For me, it's still it's still breakfast kind of. It's still breakfast. Look at this subject case study. Ethan Van Sciver. Isn't it nice? Ethan, please tell us any stories about Starenko. Starenko. He hit on my ex-wife one time. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know. This looks interesting. Hey, say Irish. Irish wristwatch. That's a good one. That is a great tongue twister. Irish wristwatch. I can't even say it once. I can't even say it once. Skid Racket says bagel, egg, and cheese on every bagel. Everything bagel is the way to go. Oh, good stuff. No, this is not a transcript. A kid wrote an essay about me for school. A kid wrote an essay. That's what I want to start out with. Ethan Van Sciver is a comic book artist. Was a comic book artist. He started from humble beginnings where he would draw as a boy. After a while, around the age of 20, he produced his very first comic book known as Cyberfrog. With this under his belt, he eventually received work at DC Comics. Around this time, he switched over to Marvel to work on an X-Men book. He experienced many issues with that comic book publisher and eventually found himself working as a comic book artist at DC Comics, where he remained for many years, until recently. EVS cucked by Starenko? Not a chance. No, you can try to cuck, but you fail. Dampstew says, wow, Uncle E, you were looking awesome today. You should see how awesome I look. You should see how awesome I look. I'm wearing an American flag tank top, but the American flag is all done in pastel colors. It's completely soy-based. I'm wearing a cross around my neck and a baseball cap. I really look fantastic. I really look fantastic. I don't know what to tell you. How does Missy Reed says, how old does someone have to be to reach Cyberfrog or to read Cyberfrog Blood Honey? You can be whatever age. I would say you want to be 13. You want to be 13. Yeah. Black Moose thinks you're looking pretty jacked, Uncle Ethan. Thank you, Kendall Navstar. I want you to know, I am out there every day. I'm out there every day lifting weights, following the regime, the regimen. It's not the regime. The regime is, look at this. You guys think I'm not doing this, but I am doing it. Some people are like, I don't know if Ethan's keeping up with his weightlifting. You guys have to believe me. I am keeping up with it. I'm keeping up with it. I don't know if I want to post videos every day of me looking jacked. I don't think that's what I want to do necessarily, as post videos of me looking jacked. But you must believe that on Christmas Eve. Wait a second. Why can't I get? Oh, it's downloading. It's downloading. All right. I'm telling you right now, my whole setup needs to be improved. I told Andrew, I was like, "Do you want to go to Best Buy today? I want to get headphones like PewDiePie has." She's like, "Well, how much are those going to cost?" I'm like, "Probably a lot. He's PewDiePie. Probably a lot. PewDiePie only uses the best stuff, I would think, right? I mean, for goodness sakes, he's PewDiePie." Let's see. Are we good? Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have to publish this. I don't have to post this. I can just show you. All right, so it's day 2. Let's do this again. Somebody tells me this is 155 pounds. We want to put this up, I don't know, 8 times, 3 times. 8 times. We want to put it up 8 times thrice. 8 times thrice. That's the way to do it. Now, I'm not going to show you this whole video. You don't need to see that. You don't need to see me flop. You don't need to see me only get it up in the air 3 times. I'm not 3 times. 7 times the first time. 2 times the second time. And then 3 times the third time. But I just want you to know it is happening. And I'm not going to always post fitness videos. I just think that's the wrong direction for this channel. But look at this. This kid wrote a nice essay about me. Look at this essay for school. I don't know how old he is. His name is Joseph Moorhead. Joseph, if you're watching, thank you. He said, yeah, you can show this. You can put this on video. I will. This is what school is all about. Thrice. No, not as in triple XL. Thrice. That's not what I mean. This guy, look at this wonderful essay that people wrote. There are many more. This guy wrote, Joseph Moorhead. There are many more notable details about what made Mr. Sciver, or it's Mr. Van Sciver. My last name is 2 words. Okay, it's 2 words, one last name. Van Sciver. It means from hell. This word means hell. Did you know that? It doesn't mean hell. It means a town in Scotland. It would be cool if it meant hell, but it means from this town, not in Scotland, in Holland. Yeah. Or as his fans call him, Uncle Ethan, a successful leader. A successful leader. These are my leadership qualities here. For one, he has come out as a voice against the political spell check agenda that many of the fans have been outraged about. This has inspired his peers to either, as a result, stand with him, or at the very least look from the shadows to see how this may affect him. Yeah, they're looking from the shadows. They're looking from the shadows at me. That's what they do. These people lurk in the shadows. Tippy Tail McKitty says, Ethan, I wrote an essay about you on the bathroom stall at work. Well, that's not good enough. Not enough people are going to see it. Was it true? Did you write a true essay like this one is? This one is true. That's what I like about it. Affect him it has, both for the better of comics and the world, as well as against him, as he has challenged the status quo. This is the best essay I have ever read in my life. I don't think it gets better than this. I don't think it gets better than this. Mr. Van Sciver has been at the front end of harassment due to his views. I don't know why they're harassing me. I don't know why. It could be because of my views. It could be for my views. They have gone as far as digging up his past history that is very personal in order to attack him. Mr. Van Sciver, however, did not run. I didn't run. I didn't. I stood my ground. This essay does. Ehe Van Sciver says this essay gets an A+. Of course it does. This is quality. I don't know why more people don't study me and write more things about me. They should. Spoiler alert, his teacher is Kathleen Kennedy. This might not go the way that he planned in that case. He took the story that was meant to hurt him and faced the challenge head on. He started a live stream and went into personal details of his past. I can't believe I hope this guy wasn't. I have no idea how old Joseph is. I don't know if he should be listening. And set the record straight for the fans. This is something he did numerous times. I'm always doing this. The information that he shared was very personal, and nobody has any need or even any right to know. It would be just understandable if he never went into the details of any of it. As a courtesy to Ethan, I do not wish to put forward the details myself. Can you imagine being the teacher reading this and going, what the f is going on? Like, what are these details? What in the world? Yeah, thank you, Joseph, for this. I appreciate that. I'm happy to say, though, it has not kept me down, and it hasn't kept me down. It hasn't. Cyberfolk started with the goal of $8,000. That was our goal. We wanted to raise $8,000. At the time I'm writing this, it has grown to be a campaign worth over $400,000. This has made many people turn their heads. Joseph, there is THEIR. In this case, there, it's possessive. It is the most successful comic book ever to be crowdfunded to date. It is the most successful comic book. It is the most successful indie comic book of the year. I think that can be said. What else can be said about it? Yeah. I can't think of other things to say about it. Whatever it is, it's good. Everything that I can say about it, it's good. Good morning, Comicsgate says. Well, Jordan Street, but he just said Comic Gate. I think it's Comics Gate. Billy Ritchie is worried about turning the toads gay. It's not the toads that you need to worry about. It's the frogs. The toads are all man. The toads are fine. They're not going to become gay. The frogs, apparently, are our point of contention. They are where we need to be concerned. All right, please let me continue to read this essay about me. This has not produced a hubris, self-centered individual either. Thank you, Joseph, for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing out my humility. I cannot stress that enough. I can't either. I am not hubric, or I am not self-centered. To me, a leader that gains this kind of success also manages to develop an ego equally as large. Ethan, underline this right here. Ethan is a good man. I repeat, Ethan is a good man. With this overwhelming success, he has used it to give back to the people that have helped him along the way. I'm not giving him anything. What do I have to give? Who do I have to give stuff to? Who's helped me? What? I don't want to give people things. Honestly, I would say that this is the single most important traits that a good leader must possess. Take care of your people. My people. That's you guys. And take care of my people. I do take care of my people. If you take care of your people when times are good, people tend to stick around if times are bad. Ethan has pumped money into not only upgrading the quality of his product to the fans for no extra charge, but he has added many additional products, and every one of his customers will receive them. Also, I cannot stress enough how speechless I was to hear this, but Mr. Van Sciver even decided to spread the wealth to expert colorist Kyle Ritter is two T's. Kyle Ritter. He has decided that for his hard work, Kyle is to receive a bonus of $10,000 for a job that Kyle was already being paid for. Not only that, but he made a point not to take credit for it and gave it to the fans. This wasn't my thing. I didn't decide to do this. I would have kept that $10,000. I would have spent it on, what do you spend $10,000 on? Billy Ritchie says, leave Kyle alone. He's a national treasure like Frank Cho. No, nobody is bothering Kyle. Everyone loves Kyle. There's no doubt that everyone loves Kyle Ritter. It's just that he spelled it wrong. He spelled it like Ritter. It's not Ritter. He hasn't seen his name in print. That's fair. You know, you have to actually see his name in print. And all I do is say his name. So, Kyle Ritter. I give the credit for the $10,000 that Kyle Ritter is going to receive to the fans who decided to do this. I take no credit for that. I would have jacked that $10,000 and I would have spent it on probably sushi. DK Wookiees, thanks for £1.99. Can you do Cyberfrog underwear? Come on my lily pad. I don't know. I don't know. Not only that, but he made a point. Okay, I got that. I think it is important. To mention, as it was a fan proposal to do this. Ethan did not have to go along with this, and yet he cares about people. Simple. Care about people. That's the whole thing. You do have to care about his people. I do care about my people. I thought he meant just generally care about people. I do care about my people. I would like to point out that ordinarily you would never talk about the numbers with his customers, but Mr. Van Sciver has used this to his advantage. That's right. If anything, releasing information such as this shows honesty, integrity, something that I personally think can be lacking in the business world, especially in the comics world. Speaking of the business world, Ethan has developed a business network with other talented artistic entrepreneurs. Because of the success of his campaign, Ethan has found himself in the center of a growing number of like-minded entrepreneurs. He has become a central voice in what is being called Comicsgate by the fans. Other artists that have similar views to Ethan on the state of comics have been inspired by him into launching their own campaigns. That is true. And for that, they have been punished with consequences, vile consequences from SJW weirdos, like Tony Bedard, who just tweeted me. Hang on a second. Let me make fun of my friend Tony Bedard. Oh, okay. Let's see. Tony Bedard says to me, "Hi, Ethan Van Sciver. While there's clearly a political dimension to the fan base funding of Cyberfrog, will the actual comic have politics? I have always loved your steadfast refusal to do a political story when we discussed collaborating on something for DC, but we never did. We never did anything at DC together." And of course, I said to him, very in the genuine way that I do speak, I said, "Nah, there's no political dimension to the fan base funding at all. I'm just selling a frog book. There won't be politics in Cyberfrog at all, except for the fact that Bill Clinton is in it as president, and he is naked. It is 1998. Tony Bedard responds by saying, "Glad to hear." Oops. Let me get this on the camera. I could do better camera work than this, guys. I really could. Glad to hear it about the comic. But you know all that talk about SJW's ruining comics is political. Yeah, but Tony, you know I'm right. And it's a large motivator in the remarkable success of your crowdfunding. Well, that should tell you something, Tony. That should tell you that SJWs are ruining comics, and everybody agrees. Everybody agrees that SJWs are ruining comics, Tony. Now, you are a liberal. Tony, you're handsome. You're a handsome liberal, Tony. He's always quick to tell me that. He's always like, I'm very handsome. Well, listen, I'm not going to argue with that. Having said that, if you see that I am raising a lot of money for Cyberfrog, and you perceive it to be because I am anti-SJW, which I am very anti-SJW. They are scum of the earth. I'm not taking. I don't want to take a side. I don't want to really take a side on this. But SJWs are scum of the earth, and it's a large motivator to the remarkable success, he says, of your crowdfunding. That's the political dimension I'm referring to. Let's see. Is it political to say these people over here are ruining comics? This is why the comics that they're doing are bad. Is it political for me to say I'm not going to do that by my comic? Is it political? Well, if it is, then I'm going to run for office. And when I run for office, there's going to be trouble. There's going to be real trouble in the form of trebuchets. Super chats. Let's read a couple super chats here. Oh yeah. Skid Racket says, "We know you're human, but you've done an amazing job staying balanced and grounded in response to attacks on you. Inspiring. Your response ability is dank." Thank you. I do try to stay dank. If dank doesn't mean moist, it sounds like it means moist. It sounds like it means moist and kind of moldy. I don't want to be dank in that way. But I do try to stay grounded in my responses to weirdos. Midnight Cherry TV, thanks for $2. Frogs and roosters. Can we be comics gators with teeth? You can if you want. Billy Ritchie, thanks for $1.99. We need to put KK and RJ on a NASA SLS rocket to Mars. Now, Billy, I don't have the funding to build a rocket. Rockets are very expensive, very, very expensive. Billions of dollars. I don't have that kind of money. I could raise money to build a giant trebuchet. Now that is within our grasp. I do think that we can do that. Let me see. I wonder if he mentions trebuchet in this essay. My main plan, of course, is building a trebuchet. Let me respond to Tony Bedard to that effect. Okay, let's just say to Tony Bedard, Tony, a large part. Okay, I have to reach around. Sorry, you're gonna have to look at the shadow of my arm. A large part of my success. Okay. See my hairy arm? That's manly. That's manly. Has been political. In because of the fact that I am publicly planning to fund and construct an enormous trebuchet to fire SJWs to Mars. This has appeal to mainstream society. I would say Americans, but you guys aren't all Americans. Yeah, you're not all Americans. Some of you are from other countries. I have fuzzy arms. I do. Let me just show you this. I'll actually put this here so we can type this together. You don't need to just hear me. You don't need to just look at my furry arm. We'll work on this together. All right. Tony, a large part of my success has been political because of the fact that I am publicly planning to fund and construct an enormous trebuchet to fire SJWs to Mars. This has appeal to mainstream society. My frog book has nothing to do with this trebuchet, and anyone... Oh, I don't have enough. Okay. And cannot be tied to it. Now I got to figure out how to win back a few words here. It's never enough. What the hell? How did that happen? How did it happen that I pushed these two words together and then lost? Can't stand this. How do I win back? Okay, I just need one more letter. I see one more. Oh, I can turn and into an ampersand and then win back like a ton of oops. Okay, so let me read this to you guys and just make sure that this is okay. Tony, a large part of my success has been political because of the fact that I'm publicly planning to fund and construct an enormous trebuchet to fire SJWs to Mars. This has appeal to mainstream society. My frog book has nothing to do with this trebuchet and cannot be tied to it. Okay, I was going to say there's no evidence. It probably would have been better to say there's no evidence that my trebuchet is tied to my frog book. That means prove it. Prove it. Okay, we'll take this away again. You can't prove it. Now, if somebody does do investigative journalism and discovers that I am funding my frog book in an effort to raise money to build this trebuchet to fire SJWs to Mars, and a certain amount of the money that I am raising for this ostensible frog book is going to go into the funding and building and then eventually the usage of this gigantic trebuchet to fire SJWs to Mars. We'll deal with that problem when it arrives. What is a trebuchet? A trebuchet is an enormous counterweighted catapult which is capable of flinging heavy weight far long distances. We are employing the use of a trebuchet. Let's see here. Let me find the trebuchet. Evidence of the. All right, we got Cyberfog's doing great. $433,931 right now. Even as I'm planning on maybe taking I might take some of the profits from the Cyberfrog campaign. Oh my God, I just lost $200. I might take some of the profits from the Cyberfrog campaign and invest it in a large trebuchet. I can't promise that I won't. So what are the plans for the trebuchet? And we've gone through this before. I'll show you again in case you missed it. I have scientists working on it. Oops, no, that's not it. That's the furniture. All right, here it is. This is the plan for the trebuchet so far. I've got NASA scientists working on it. This is their initial work. I will keep you guys updated about the trebuchet and how its progress is coming. The trebuchet needs to be enormous. It needs to be enormous. It needs to be very big. So I picture this as like the panhandle of Florida here. This is, how many miles between this and this? Many, many, many miles. This is enormous. It's counterweighted with the space shuttle and a booster rocket that's pointed downwards. This is a space shuttle booster rocket that will have to be launched straight down at the ground. Space shuttle will fling Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson probably into orbit. Now, some people have suggested that Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy might burn up upon exiting the atmosphere. I don't know if that's true. I am not a scientist. Okay, I am not. I am not. What's his face? What's his face anyway? What is his face? The science guy, not Bill Nye, the other science guy. No, not Elon Musk. Although no, not Bill Nye, the one that liberals all like. Mr. Wizard, yeah, exactly, Mr. Wizard. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am not Neil deGrasse Tyson, so I don't know if they are going to survive this or not. I'm not sure. People said, well, what about when they get to space? Like, they can't breathe. I'm like, well, I hope they can hold their breath. We'll see, but we got to get them to Mars somehow. We do have scientists working on this problem, so that is what's going on right now. That is what's going on right now, and yeah, it's Carl Sagan. You prefer Carl Sagan? Well, I mean, I get everyone involved. People do not like Bill Nye. I'm getting a reaction from people about Bill Nye. People just don't like him. I don't know why. Yeah, I have no opinion. I have no opinion about Bill Nye. I did see his stupid sex junk thing. It was repulsive and disgusting. But even still, I do respect his scientific knowledge, which, as I understand, he doesn't have much of. They're saying he's more of an entertainer. He's not really a scientist. He's not really a scientist. All right. Where were we here? What were we doing? Is that still up? Okay, here we go. So anyway, we answered that question. We answered Tony Bedard. I hope he's satisfied. Yeah. Because of the success of his campaign. All right, so it's Comicsgate. We have been. They're launching their own campaigns. Mr. Van Sciver has welcomed them with open arms. This guy's going to write my propaganda. I mean, this guy is going to. I'm going to hire him. I'm going to hire him to write my propaganda. That umbrella guy, would you help him? I want to get both of you to write my I have welcomed everyone with open arms. Yeah. And no show trials. Hardly any show trials. Hardly any. Just a few. And has even promoted their campaigns. As a result, we may see a huge change in comic book world comparable to what happened in the 1990s when Image Comics was developed. Many of these people now join in periodically every Tuesday to what's being called the High Council. It is a live stream show that is being done to discuss what can be done and how to move forward with campaigns. Well, that's not really true. The High Council is actually almost entirely about Star Wars. We do have Comicsgate live chats, and that is when they don't burst out, when they don't break down into violence. We have Comicsgate chats. Should we have another one? I'm going to invite, Mr. Olvera says dicks out for propaganda. I like it. I like propaganda. I like it. Yeah. When does the Trebuchet Indiegogo go live? Asked Brad Noble. Who says it hasn't already? Look, if there's any way that I can raise money for an Trebuchet via Indiegogo by overfunding, let's say a pamphlet, something like that, I think that would be the best way to do it. I could be like, hey guys, this is a sex ed pamphlet for 5-year-olds that we're trying to launch here. This is a sexual education pamphlet for 5-year-olds that we want to raise money for and give it to Planned Parenthood, and then boom, it raises $6 billion for a pamphlet. Okay, that is the plan. That is how we raise money for a trebuchet, and it's also how we get SJWs to pay for it. This is a big, beautiful trebuchet. We are going to build it. We are going to launch SJWs to Mars, and the liberals are going to pay for it, and that's how we're going to do it. It might be a little Trumpian there. Who's going to pay for it? The SJWs. That is our new campaign slogan. Who's going to pay for the trebuchet? Well, SJWs are. How are we going to do it? Well, we're going to crowdfund various social justice warrior projects that are disguised. I mean, we'll crowdfund the trebuchet in pieces disguised as SJW interest, and they're going to be impressed. You guys are going to know exactly what this is. You guys are going to know, oh yeah, that sex ed pamphlet for 4-year-olds that's going to be sold at Planned Parenthood or given away. That is actually a hidden thing. The truth is that money, well, they'll make the pamphlets, sure. That'll cost $10. And then the rest of the $6 billion that it raises is going to go into the trebuchet. It's going to go into the trebuchet. These are my plans. People say I don't have leadership potential. SJW say that. I think they're wrong. I think they're wrong. This guy believes it. This gentleman, he sees it in me. He doesn't see a tyrant. He doesn't. Not a tyrant at all. He sees, yeah, humble humility. There are notable details. Yeah, yeah. Where does it say good things about me? I can't remember. Where's my thing about? Hey, where's my thing about being humble and not arrogant and having no hubris? I don't know. I can't find it now. But it was in there. You guys saw it. I read it to you. You guys saw it and you heard it with your own ears. You saw it with your own eyes. This live stream plays out much like a think tank would, with one large difference. Yeah, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Other than that, it is a think tank. It's totally like a think tank. Jeremy last night going off on the High Council about why the Force Awakens was a really good movie. Yeah, that probably probably not. Yeah, probably not a great moment in his history. I hope that doesn't get shared with Jeremy over and over again for the rest of his life. Why does he like that movie? Why does he like that movie? Yeah, Ego and Hubris, the Michael Malice story. Jeremy did nothing wrong. Well, I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm just saying, it's like this guy says we're a think tank. We're not a think tank if we're sitting there praising The Last Jedi all night long. Oh, great. Is the screen froze? I think the screen is froze. Whatever. Okay. I would like to say that I've personally seen the good, the bad, and the downright ugly when it comes to management. I say this speaking from the position of a military veteran. This is a position that many people do not understand. This guy's a veteran. This guy is a veteran. That is impressive. People do not realize the power rank has opposed to someone simply being a manager. In that world, abuse of power can easily be obtained in a way that cannot be in the civilian world. My point is that you can really learn what a great leader is by learning what a great leader is not. It is my humble opinion that Ethan Van Sciver displays exceptional leadership qualities. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, it's back. It's back. The screen's back. Let me just read that again. It is my humble opinion that Ethan Van Sciver displays exceptional leadership qualities. Now, that is the kind of essay that it should get an A. It should get an A plus. I like the way it's written. I like what it has to say. I like both of those things. And for that reason alone, I think it is a fact is a fact. I mean, you get the facts down, and that is that is what is important. This guy did a great job. I want to point out that there is a lot of stuff going on right now in terms of fan art. Great fan art is happening. You've got Rainbow Brute, and Rainbow Brute here is standing on my Girthy Stallion's head. He's standing on the head of my Girthy Stallion. He's very small. He's no, I didn't write that. It was an essay that was written by another fellow. I didn't. Yeah, this is a good drawing. So this is Rainbow Brute standing on the head of my Girthy Stallion, and his name, of course, the horse's name is Waking Nightmare. Really good art. I don't know why Rainbow Brute looks depressed, but I do like it. It's proportioned nicely. That is exactly what Rainbow Brute looks like. Andrea is still saying, I don't think Rainbow Brute's going to work. Oh, I think it'll work. I think people will like it. I mean, not every Indiegogo campaign is going to do well. Not everyone can succeed as gloriously as Cyberfug Bloodhoney. But I do think that listening to the fans, I mean, I wouldn't do I wouldn't do a book about something that people didn't want to see. I wouldn't do that just for the sake of my own ego. People do want to see Rainbow Brute, so we got to give it to them. We got to give them Rainbow Brute with the Munchie cheese. Oh my God, what is this? Somebody sent me this, by the way. This is a picture of what SJW men look like. It's a collage. If you'll notice, I don't want to point this out all the time. All right, let me put this back on. I don't want to have to point this out all the time, but I will. Why is it blurry? What? Oh, now it's getting okay. It's better now. But for real though, just take a look, and then let's go over here. And look there. As you can see, there's some similarity. There is some similarity. They all do tend to look exactly like this. Why? Why do they all look like this? Why? Hold on, let's go through this. He doesn't have glasses, but yeah, that's a bang on. That guy, that guy. They all. Oh no. Do we go blank? Well, how can I continue to make a visual point when the screen is blank? How do we do that? Can we get back on? No. I can't fix it. It's hold on a second. Cancel. Will it come back on or no? A lot of people are. Well, the black screen is better than The Last Jedi. Well, yeah, come on over here and try to fix this. This is pissing me off. We might have to start over again, guys. We might have to start over. Let me read these super chats, though. It's important. Super chats, paying attention to them are important. How can anyone attack you for not having politics in your comics? I just don't get it. Asked Jeffrey Toon. I don't get it either, Jeffrey Toon. I don't get it. I don't understand these people. Billy Ritchie, thanks for $1.99. I'm a red-blooded black Chinese Swede American. Okay. Gojirified, thanks for $2. Any reaction to the Tico sheets? You guys have to wait. We are working on it. You will see the video soon. Check out Blue Mamba on Kickstarter, a comic about a sexy assassin tasked with taking out SJW community leaders by a smooth-talking politician. Sounds great. Euros21, thanks for the €1 donation. Billy Sidness, thank you for Australian $2. Super F and Amp for Rainbow Brute Dude. And Jorge Versetti, thanks for $2. $2 to fix your garbage tier streaming gear. You're so fucking right. You're so right. Alright guys, I'm canceling this. I'm going to start over again with a new stream because I want to promote another Indiegogo for somebody that looks really, really cool. So